Well, we're here at the back end of the big Jeep because we're at the back end of the transmission build. Part dos, due, two, and here it is. Enjoy. Alright, we're going to do some test fitting of stuff. I don't know if you guys remember earlier me talking about going the cheap way and getting a heavy duty pan off a motorhome or heavy duty truck. So the difference, not just the depth, but we've got two different pickup tube lengths, depending on if it's a deep or a standard pan. And even to the point where the aftermarket companies just send the actual GM pickup tube that's longer. Now I'm not going to lube up the O-ring and stick it in yet since we're just test fitting, but it'll go there, and they are marked on both of them. I don't know if you can read that on this crusty one where it says case and filter. Kind of, might be able to read better on this one. So they go in a certain way. And they just boop, drop right in. Of course, with the O-ring, it's a little more effort required. We've got one threaded hole on top of our valve body. That's where our bolt for our filter will be. And now we play stack'ems. I'm gonna stack a spacer, put the bolt in, twist that, push that on to the filter. I think we will put a little doobie on it, just because and we'll just snug that up finger tight for now. And those do not tighten up. It'll have a little bit of slop. Even the short ones do it. It's so that it kind of float in the fluid. Where's my pan? Watch out now. So then we'll have our pan on. For some reason, it's up. So, inspection light, why are we up? Are we too tall on the filter still? That is what appears to be hitting. And that is not down all the way. Well, that's interesting to say the least. Come on, Trick Flow. Why would you send me a pan that's too short for the extended tube? This is why we just test fit things sometimes, instead of just slapping it on. Let's see what's going on with our tube. Tubey. She's seated. Make sure we don't have a discrepancy in our filters. This filter shouldn't care. Height's the same. She's down all the way. I'll try it without the bolt. And we're still hitting. Well, looks like it's going to be more parts for us. Figure out what's going on. Yeah, Always something, isn't it? Alright. Well, we'll do some measuring on our depths and see what's going on. I wonder if it's this casting lug hitting. I got 4 casting lugs in there. And we've got witness marks on this one where it's hitting that, I bet. Why would they do such a thing? I mean, I understand wanting to make sure it seats, but... Well, here's a sure way to find out. We're going to put a big old... Yeah, there's a dent in the filter right there. I bet you that's what's happening. Put a big old booger of slobber on there. And yep, we got transfer. So that lug is hitting our filter. Even if it were up at normal level, it'd still be hitting it. So we're going to put that spacer back in. Make sure that none of the other lugs are going to hit. And bear in mind, our height has not changed from factory. This is, just because we're going into a aftermarket valve body, this is still an OE height. So this pan should not cause any interference issues. We're gonna see what's going on. Because that's not cool. We don't want a squished filter. Yep, we've got 3 transfer points. So we got a couple options. We can get a hold of Trick Flow and say, hey, what the heck? See what they got to say. Might do that first. Ultimately, I think I'm just going to end up taking a grinder to those lugs that sit right over the filter and knock them down so they don't interfere with our filter. But other than that, we are assembled as far as we can be assembled while waiting for our drum. As you know, my mistake, I thought that this transmission, with it having the nail head pattern on the bell housing, would have the early style drum. It does not. It has the late style drum. Come on, spit it out. And what they call the late style drum has these ratchet marks to go with a 16 roller sprag only. So we've got the early style drum / 4L80E drum coming. They're one and the same. I'll set it right here while I finish talking to you. So we're going to wait for some more parts, make some phone calls. We'll be back. Just got off the phone, Trick Flow. They said I got a pretty good understanding what's going on. They said they'd never heard of this problem before. So grinder, neat pan. We're going to take care of that. Talking to the guy that he's never heard of that problem. So my thought is GM did a change on this pickup tube length, made it just a tiny bit longer. This one could have been, one off, screw up on production on assembly, whatever. We're going to make it work, make it fit. That's what we do. As you can see, or can't see, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but I'm kind of sparkly now with grinder dust from that aluminum. Probably should have blown off a little more. Anyway, we're going to get this fitted on again. Alright, Got our bolt on, so we got enough flop. Let's do a little chemical cleaning. And we still hit a little, but we still got a grinder. Off they'll come. Peekaboo. Alright, so I went ahead and took those all the way down, and there's no more clearance issues. So pop the filter out and the tube, and went ahead and ran the bolts in, made sure they were clear and fit and all that good stuff. So now we're going to figure out where in the world, no, not that person, where we're going to put our fitting for our temperature gauge later. So this is upside down. You're on the passenger side, I'm on the driver's side. On our driver's side right now we have the shift linkage, and then formerly our block-off plug for our electric kickdown. On our passenger side we have formerly our vacuum modulator here, and then we've got all the way in back we flipped over the cover for our governor, since we no longer require a governor. Want to keep in mind stuff like, since this is four-wheel drive shafts going out towards the front, and of course exhaust. So my thought process is we can go all the way back to about here with our transfer case adapter. In fact, I'll probably grab that up and just set that on. Or if my lovely assistant wants to grab it for me. Gold sparkly aluminum. Yep. Yeah, we were playing with arts and crafts, so she's sparkly now, just because. Now, bear in mind, oh, this got heavy for one. Let's roll that over instead of lifting it, so we don't knock stuff over. That's better. All right. Now, in theory, I should be able to just clock that back up to about there. All right, that is not in its final home, of course, but as you can see, I put it on backwards. As you can see, I did it backwards. So that's roughly where that will go. Said on this side, we're going to have our drive shaft coming off the front of the transfer case. I'm thinking right there is going to be a great spot to put it. Got all sorts of clearance there. The cross member is going to be in about this range. So won't be in our exhaust, won't be in our drive shaft. We'll have clearance for the cross member, and we should still be able to get in there and remove and install without pulling the cross member or dropping the transmission. Let's roll that back over and release it. Yeah, bought some gold paint. Thought it was gold. It was gold glitter. And I said, let's run with it. Let's glitter her up. Why not? What the heck? All right, I'm going to pull this off, drill and tap it. And then other than that, we're waiting on parts, like I was saying earlier. You order stuff from the rainforest in South America, and sometimes it don't show up when it should. So finally got our replacement part in. You know why I have a really short haircut? So I don't pull my friggin' hair out waiting for parts. Holy cow. This whole supply chain thing is annoying. Anyway, so we'll show you. I'm gonna knock the rollers out of the old one. Here's our ratchet style with the 16 sprag. Here's the smooth style that we'll be able to fit our 34 roller on. So we'll get that fitted on, and we'll flip it over, take those clutches and springs out that we just put on that, and then we'll set the transmission down and finish our assembly. We're just that close. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so that lip seal was fighting me. Then I remembered I had this handy dandy little tool. Well, it's pretty much worthless. So I used the feeler gauge method to just tuck that lip seal back in there. Alright, we're going to put the springs in, put the clutches and steels in, and get this thing buttoned up. There you go. One more. Oh, love it. All right. Now we're going to rearrange a tiny bit. Now I know what you're thinking. You're seeing that pan going, well, Chris, you just spent all that time fitting that other aluminum pan and putting it on and making sure it fit, and now you got the steel pan on. Why do you got the steel pan on? Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to use that one to do the installation. It's going to slide around on the transmission jack, and I don't want to tear up that nice aluminum pan. So with no filter or pickup tube. That one clears the valve body. It'll sit on the transmission jack, and that one can get scratched, and I get my pretty cast aluminum pan. All right, back to work. I need to try and line these up. Line all those up. I would have been thinking about it. I'll use the sprag on the other end to do that. I'd say eyeballing. We're pretty darn close. We're about to find out. It's not much to grab hold of. I would say that that is not seated at all. So, I'm going to take stuff apart again, because that's what we do. We take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together. There are transmission builders that are cussing at me right now. What are you doing? Use this specialty tool. You're right, I should. If I was building a whole bunch more of these, I would. But we're going to use that to get everybody in line. Just like that. And now, the hard part, getting that out without disturbing them. I'm back, battery's changed. Let's see if I can get a hold of this and set her in without disturbing stuff. Am I in park?
I thought you were neutral.
I wanted to be in neutral. One, two, three. All right. Yippee! All right. We're getting somewhere now. Wonder if I should have put that band in first. Oh, hindsight. That vision is perfect, isn't it? Let me sneak that past there. I'll make sure to get it in right though. Yep. Why didn't you tell me that went in there first? I mean, help me out here.
I'm sure everybody was looking at the screen.
Oh, I'm sure they were. Why didn't you put the band in? Ooh, huh. Oh, that's gonna work. That was a nice solid, it's in there, seating sound. Alright. And dig through this mess. Clean these up. I'm going to take a sweet tea break. You should too. Okay, we're down to our final clutch pack assembly, and this is the one that smoked. So, But we won't have that problem on our new one. So we've eliminated the part that caused the problem. I wonder, let's see if we can use you with your tapered entry to help make that a little easier. Ah, like that. Flip that over. Try to put that snap ring in without disturbing the pieces. She's tight. I have one too many clutches. I may have to consult the manual. Unless I had one too many clutches, one too many steels total. What's going on here? Well, I guess so. I guess they sent me an extra pair. Told you I'm not a transmission builder. Alright. That is one assembled forward drum. Now, let us see. We can drop this in without disturbing those clutches. How many clutches are in there? A lot. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we have to, we'll listen for 5 clicks. That sounded like all 5 to me. Alright. We're moving right along. I believe. I'll clean up. I don't know why I'm being so particular about cleaning up, but I am. Yes, I'm being very particular, in fact. I believe we're at the final stage. We need a pump gasket. We need to make sure that all our oiling holes line up properly. This looks like that was backwards. I think it was right the other way. Alright. Want to make sure all our holes line up properly for our feeds and our drains. We have our rebuilt and modified pump. These pump bolts. I don't know if they'll clean these, so we'll give them a little spritzing. That's a spritzing. Okay. You don't want to forget these. These are a special sealing washer for the pump bolt. They have a, can't really see it. They have a sealing material built onto them. This is an 8 bolt pump. So six pump bolts were more common, or 6 bolt pumps. I cannot speak today, I apologize. Alright. Need to find Yeah, we're going to do that a little different. Just a little tiny smear here and there. Our other problem was our thrust washer there, and our ceiling rings were trying to fight back. Trying to fight their way out. Well, we can fix that little problem right there. A little bit of that. Glad we looked at that. Alright. Do we have enough stick? That was satisfying. Alright. Well, that's it. We're going to put these final pump bolts in, torque them to spec. This transmission is now assembled and ready for installation. Next up, transfer case. Hopefully it doesn't fight back as much. You know we've got all the parts for it finally, until I find something we don't have. But you know how that goes. Alright, well thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends. We want to get that viewership up. We greatly appreciate all of you that are watching, and we'll see you next time.